It is crazy. It is such a crazily stressful thing. Hi everybody, new backdrop. It's kind of nice because just about everywhere is a new backdrop.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. So what's been happening for the last 2 weeks?
Enough.
It's been crazy hot again. Like after having crazy cold, we're back to crazy hot. It is supposed to cool off a bit, but not a ton.
But enough to be comfortable.
Yeah, we are expecting a day of rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's okay. We'll take the down day. We have been busy little bees, Sandy especially, with clearing space so that we could get the truck in and get the camper in. But something really cool has happened. So this is something that arrived for us. So we actually have received something really cool from one of our Patreon supporters, and we're quite excited for this. What we've received is a solar power pack that we can charge with a solar panel, which we also got. So we're kind of excited for this because it will help us a great deal, hopefully, to reduce the amount of gas we're using when we're trying to get online and things like that. So we're hoping that we can, at very least, run computers and Starlink with this. So we're going to unbox this for you guys, and you can sort of watch us try and figure out how to put this all together, which could be interesting because it's new to us. So, but thank you very, very much to our Patreon supporter who was so kind in getting this for us. This is going to be another one of those game changers.
Yeah, this will be huge for us.
So, an interesting story. Oh, I should probably get a better shot of that. There. So this is actually a brand called All Powers, and it was on our Amazon wish list. An interesting little story about how we had to get it.
Yes.
So when we originally ordered it, there were a couple of different brands, two very well-known brands. This was like a third brand, and we tried to order the first one, and they said that it would take over a month before it would even ship.
Well, and it was frustrating too because we actually did order it.
Yeah.
Because it said that it was available in stock.
Yeah.
And once we ordered it, it was several days that we had noticed the payment hadn't come out. So we went to clarify that, and then we found out that it wasn't in fact in stock, and it was going to be until sometime
like
potentially mid-October before they sent it.
And we actually sort of almost attempted it a second time to see this and said the same thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we canceled that one and we went with this one, and payment went out as normal, everything, and they shipped it via UPS. And the problem with UPS is UPS does not deliver to rural addresses.
Yeah.
So the nearest place where we could pick it up if we wanted to is Timmins, which is over an hour's drive away. Mm-hmm. And really the cost of going there for one item is just ludicrous.
Yeah, well, I mean, the amount it would have cost in gas to just get there was insane.
It was just unsettling because why UPS would pick up an item when they can see the address when you try and just why they wouldn't right away say we're not going to deliver to that address, we can't pick it up. Anyway, so I called UPS. They said you have to get a hold of the seller. So I got a hold of the seller. The seller said, well, if they won't deliver to your address, we're just going to cancel the order. And so they did. And so it went back to them. And so what we did was we ordered it, we sent it to someone else, and they very graciously, the same person, sent it to us. So we received it today by Canada Post. So please keep in mind if anyone is sending us stuff, try not to use UPS because
Purolator or Canada Post are the best ones.
Absolutely. And I mean,
Purolator
FedEx
has a location.
a location here,
that
as
we
does
can pick up.
FedEx. So, but UPS does not. They will only go to the UPS depot in Timmins. So, anyway, so we're going to get this, and we're going to get the
panel.
solar panel set up, and then we're going to charge it up, and we'll take you guys along for the ride. So the cool thing about this particular panel as well is that it's bifacial, which means that it actually charges both from the front and the back. So if there's like a lighter surface like this is the back, it will actually charge from that as well. So,
And there it is.
there it is. So slightly frustratingly, the input for the solar doesn't match what's on the panel, so we'll have to get an adapter for that. So what we can do though is we're actually going to charge this using the generator right now, but apparently it has a very rapid charge. So we're going to give that a go and see how that works out for us. And we'll keep you guys posted on this. Now, the cool thing about that is that it took about an hour and a half for the first charge
Yeah.
on that unit.
That was running off the generator.
Off the generator, which was amazing. And so we can actually run Starlink off of that for about 5 hours on a full charge, which is amazing. But we also hooked up the solar panel after we got a cable, and thank you very much to the person who sent us the cable. That was really appreciated and very timely. That was great. So that's set up, and we are actually getting a decent charge on it.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps up with the Starlink if the sun is out. Right now it's cloudy. We're not getting much charge off of that panel at all.
It's later in the day too.
But it is also later in the day. But at the peak, we're getting like sort of 75 watts of charge.
Yeah.
Now, ideally, we need 3 of those panels. That would sort of, keep that a lot more up to speed, I think. You know. But it's actually quite cool, very compact, very light, easy to move. We've now sort of installed it, basically, sort of, kind of, in the camper. And so that's a bit easier now. We're not, don't have cables running through doors and things like that. So...
And it's been good, and I've been able to run my computer off it several times, and that's kind of cool too. Just we've noticed definitely a change in the gas usage,
100%,
which was a big part of the reason we wanted it in the first place. Because we've just been,
eating
gas,
like throwing gas away,
burning through, obviously.
And now, I mean, like, if it gets ready, we're sort of now, instead of running the generator for like 4 to 5 to 6 hours a day, we are actually running it 1 to 2, basically, sometimes 3. But basically sort of once late morning for like an hour, just to charge it up from overnight to help it catch up, and then once in the evening, sort of at the end of the night, so that there's sort of charge for later in the evening and stuff like that. What it has sort of pointed out to me anyway is how badly we need to replace the batteries in the camper. Like, they are just not holding a charge at all, pretty much anymore. And within a couple of minutes, they're, the lights are getting dimmer.
Depending what you're talking about. In there. I mean,
and you don't even notice it until you turn the generator back on. And then suddenly, like, the lights are like really bright, and you're like, oh my goodness, the generator's there. But this little power station has been absolutely amazing. I'm actually really impressed with it. I would love some of the bigger capacity ones, but they're hugely expensive. They're crazy expensive.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So, this is a great help. It really is. And thank you again to our wonderful Patreon supporter for that. And if you would like to sign up for Patreon, please don't forget to check out the Patreon link down below in the description of this video, where on Patreon you actually get exclusive content that we don't generally post on here, or sometimes you get stuff that's before like the video about our water collection system, which is going to be posted in the coming days. So that's going to go on Patreon first, and then we'll post it here on YouTube. So check out the Patreon link down below. Other than that, we have been whittling away at obviously clearing this path. So right now, about to do the very first attempt to drive into as far as we've cleared on the property. So I got Remy in the truck with me, Sandy sort of navigating me in front. Let's see how this goes. How am I doing there, okay? Do you want to go further forward now and just make sure I keep on the line? And today, actually, we have just completed moving the camper in.
Which is why I keep yawning. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was stressful and exhausting.
It is crazy. It is such a crazily stressful thing, and it really shouldn't be, but it is. It's, for me, it's something's going to go wrong with the truck, or something's going to go wrong with the camper, or the camper's going to tip over, or whatever. And we've been very cautious about the trail and stuff like that. So I mean, like, really not a worry, but it is still stressful.
Yeah, but it's
to
still
do.
bumpy road. Ultimately, I mean, it's not like it's a paved highway or
Highway
something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it is still a bumpy road, and it's a matter of, like, what are we keeping in the camper? Is everything safe? Is something going to fall over? All that kind of stuff. Now,
And I mean, this time it was a bit easier than the previous time because we had already moved a bunch of our stuff. We spent a bunch of time last week moving all of our our totes and that kind of thing, which usually ends up going back into the camper, and then we've got to do that whole thing. So a lot of stuff was already in here to begin with.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a huge stress off. It wasn't like the
wasn't like a
previous
full
times
day
where
of
you have
packing and then
to- yeah.
unpacking and stuff. So that absolutely helped. And I
Yeah.
mean, just
and
so
the
that you
dishes
know,
stayed intact.
the dishes all stayed
was
intact.
nice.
Nothing broken today. That was good. Now, just so basically, our backs are facing east. This is west, and this is south, and so we are probably about 100 feet from the property.
We can see the property.
We can
from
see the
here.
property from here. So technically and hopefully this is the penultimate move of the camper. So it is basically the next time we move it, we'll be putting it in place where we are going to build on that heating room, or whatever you want to call it, lean-to, or I don't know, there's a 50 gajillion names
Living
for it.
room.
Living room, space room, around the camper. So we are pretty close. The weather so far, touch wood, is still holding out and still quite warm.
Yeah.
And so
And it's supposed to be, I think there's one day it's going to be a little chillier, but not like,
that's going to be like
not even like,
17, I think.
it's not like typical fall kind of chilly.
Yeah.
It's just chillier than what we've been dealing
Well,
with.
you know what?
now,
It's better
so-
than what's going on in South Africa right now.
Yes.
My mom sent me a video and I see it online, but they've got snow in spring. So it's spring in South Africa right now. And there are people totally trapped on mountain passes because they're not prepared at all. Like they're, usually if you get snow, it's like a skiff of snow, like barely an inch. And they're talking like 15 to 30 centimeters
Yeah.
still coming. after like what looks like at least a foot. So, I mean, that's quite considerable. So,
So yeah, better than that here.
yes. So we'll take it. Absolutely. But yeah, we that's pretty much what we've been doing. I mean, moving the camper in is a big undertaking. It does take a couple of days to get ourselves ready and stuff like that. And yeah,
Maneuvering around pets was difficult this time.
yes,
And actually, this
yeah,
has
they were
been
difficult. I don't know if you can see, but Remy got a little excited in the.
Remy's
vehicle.
had an interesting week. Remy got sprayed by a skunk on
He got
Monday.
sprayed by a fart squirrel.
Chased it down the street.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to listen when we told him to stop. So we've actually been doing a bit of extra newer sort of training exercises with him and stuff to kind of improve on his recall. Right now he's just crazed, but yeah, that was less than pleasant because it was late at night. There was nowhere we could go to actually do anything about it. We had to start looking up a bunch of home remedies.
Yeah.
Because yeah, all the the stores close early in town, and it was already
Everything
dark.
closes early in town.
Yeah. So, and I mean, for the most part, it's okay now. I get a bit of a hint here and there sometimes, but I mean, it's not too bad. And then today they were a bit out of sorts, and I mean, I get it. They're
We're
not
moving
really
locations
sure
and-
what's going on and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wanted to. The cat wanted to. Well, she wanted to hang out underneath the camper, and then
Yeah.
she wanted to hang out underneath the truck, and then she wanted to stand in front of the truck.
While we're trying to move the camper in.
Just
Yeah, so they've
Now
been a
she's
little
under the
challenging.
camper again,
Now
but
she's
it's
under the
not
camper
moving,
and happy
so it's
and
fine.
stuff like that. And I mean, like, so you know, we actually have security lights. I'll try and get a shot of them, but we have security lights that we have that are motion detecting solar lights around the camper, so that you know if something comes around. We did. Oh, you know what? We forgot to mention is that yesterday. Yes, yesterday. I was in the camper. She was outside, and someone came by to visit.
Oh, right.
So I quickly went outside, and he didn't like that very much, and he scampered off. And unfortunately, I didn't get much of a shot, but there's a bit of a shot of this fox there. Yeah, so that was kind of interesting.
Yes.
Other than that, we haven't seen much in the way of wildlife lately.
Well, the skunk.
So the fart squirrel, yeah. Not a fan of fart squirrels.
No, neither am I.
I mean, they're
especially
cute.
not now.
Yeah. I mean, they're cute, but, you know,
Yeah.
I hear they make good
gross.
pets.
Yeah, when you get rid of
The scent,
stink.
which is not fair on them. But anyway, so Remy is fine. Also, and thank you very much. We have had at least 3 people reach out for Remy's measurements and things like that. So we're quite excited to see what winter woolies
Yes.
Remy gets. So I'm sure we'll have something to update you in the next video. If we get more than one at once, we'll probably split them up into a couple of different videos so that we can spread the love to those people who so graciously took his measurements. But don't forget as well to join us on October 5th for our combined birthday live chat or live stream here on YouTube. That link is down in the description as well. And if you sign up now, YouTube will notify you when it's about to start. But it is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, October the 5th. And we really hope that you can join us for our birthdays because it'll be fun to have you there. Other than that, guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you know when we post our next video. And I know we haven't been posting quite as frequently.
No.
We're trying very hard to not bore you with what we're doing because, I mean, really it's repetitive and you can only watch us like clear stuff so often
Yes.
before it gets very boring. And so, yeah, so we haven't been posting.
Clearing
quite as
isn't
much.
too far away from
done.
considering where we've been.
Yeah.
It's like I said, we can see the property from here, and you know, there's stumps still to get through there, but I mean, they're not like the crazy ones that we've been dealing with back here.
Yeah.
They're pretty normal, straight up. They can be just sliced off and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, we shouldn't be too far from actually making that final
And I think
move.
as well, I mean, we've learned a lot. Like now that we've cut down these stumps and we've driven in and out, we've kind of learned a lot about what degree they need to be cut to, and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
There is a
and
fly that's driving me
it's
absolutely
I know it's
crazy
just
here
it's
right
going
now.
straight for you, which is funny because they usually bug me.
Yeah.
more. But yeah. So I mean, we've kind of learned a lot. So I think it will be a lot quicker going further in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I'm glad that the camper is moved.
Yeah.
I can't wait to move it one last time and then be done with moving it.
Yeah.
Because I really want to start building stuff.
Yes,
And I
me
think that'll
too.
be a bit more exciting for you guys too, is watching sort of like stuff come together. But we are going to also, like I said, try and do more project videos. So keep an eye out for the water collection video. I'm actually hoping to get some footage tomorrow when it rains, which is kind of what I've been waiting for, which is why I haven't posted that video yet. So keep an eye out for that. As usual, if you are so inclined, please don't forget to hit that PayPal link down below. We really do appreciate your support there. It does really help us on a day-to-day basis. So we are incredibly appreciative to those who are able to and do so on a regular basis. Thank you very much for that. So I think that's about everything I can think
That's
of.
it for this time.
I think a mental checklist has gone out the window now.
It's time for dinner for all of us.
It's time for dinner for all of us. So, so from a rather pleasant evening here in Northern Ontario, thank you so much for watching, guys. And until the next one, we'll see you then.